Hello, everybody. This is Greg and this is Amy, and we're just talking about date night movies. We have like Netflix for a little bit, so we're actually able to watch it for free for
a month.
For 1 month. So we're doing the review, watching like as many movies a date night as possible. So one of the movies we came across was called The Road. It's a 2009 film, and this movie was a post-apocalyptic drama filmed, directed by John Hillcoat from a screenplay written by Joe Penhall. It's based on a Pulitzer Prize-winning novel of the same name by American author Cormac McCarthy. Pretty much, it's like the film stars Viggo Mortensen and Kodi Smit-McPhee as father and son in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. This movie was so dark. Oh my goodness. We watched this movie, and there's so many lessons that we can glean from it, but I just want to let you hear Amy's voice and let her get a little point on it. So, Amy, go ahead and say a couple things.
Hi, everyone. Yes, basically, we got the Netflix free 30-day trial, the cheapest one, and we're trying it. This is the first time I think we've ever tried it, right?
Uh-huh, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. We don't have cable. We do rent movies online once in a while, or we get Redbox. So we decided to do something different, and Netflix has some good documentaries and different things like that, so I was wanting to watch that, watch some of the documentaries, and also have some movies. So I saw this movie, The Road, and it talked about like a father and son relationship that, endured through some really, really hard times.
Yeah.
Through hard struggles to survive. So I really thought this would be something interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked it. And boy, was it something that was very, very different than I had seen before. And very disturbing and thought-provoking and scary for the future. Thinking that this is the way, in a sense, the world thinks everything's going to end.
Yeah.
And I actually have been thinking about it throughout the whole day, scary parts of it, and also thinking where God fits in it. Biblically speaking, like Book of Revelation, how the world is really accurately what the Bible says is how it's going to end. And I don't believe this movie is any way like measuring up to what the Bible says the world is going to end. So that helped me know like between truth and reality. But this movie was very intense. The father-son relationship begins. Is this like a spoiler or?
Oh, this is gonna be a spoiler. We're gonna spoiler. We're just gonna tell you everything about the movie that we saw.
Okay. Okay. So the dad and the son, they start off basically dad, son, mom.
Yeah.
Actually, mom, dad.
Mom and dad. Yeah.
Mom, dad. And then they have a son, but apparently, before they ever got pregnant, something happened, a nuclear blast and something, wars, everything like that. Basically, made the world just dust.
It's desolate. It became desolate, and some kind of cataclysmic event happened, like with the sun that started scorching the earth or something.
So basically, it's like dry, like nothing's growing, everything's dead. A few humans are alive. I don't know how many humans are alive, but it's like a really, really scary time that a lot of people lose hope. And they turn to a lot of bad things, cannibalism.
Yeah.
And to survive, if you choose not to eat people, you are going to very much starve.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, unless you figure out how to find food that's not humans. And there are a lot of scary parts in it. But I will focus on the relationship with the dad and the son. Those were like the hopeful parts.
Yeah.
So, You want to talk a little bit? I'll think about what I want to say more.
Yeah, and pretty much there's so many things in it. It's like, this is a movie about hope, and then when you have different people going through situations, you're not sure exactly how everybody's going to, intertwine, how they're going to be. In the beginning, it starts off where, the man and his wife, and
Charlize.
husband and wife together, Viggo Mortensen and his wife is Charlize Theron. They're having a baby, going to have a baby, and then pretty much in the process of having the baby, he had to have it at home and all kind of things, and they eventually have him, and she's like really just scared, and she loses all hope, and she like pretty much walks into the woods, and you never see her again. And so the thing is, like, the son and the father have to survive in this world, and they are trying to find food. So they're going to various places trying to find food, always with hope, trying to find hope, and it's very scary because it's like, they have to, you don't think about the stuff that they have to deal with until you start thinking about, man, what would I do in a situation like that? How would I live? There's no leaves on the trees. There's no water anywhere. There's no food. There's no squirrels. There's no grass on the ground. There's really nothing. You're just kind of walking from wasteland to wasteland. They go to the stores have been ransacked. Everything's empty. Nothing's there. And as they're going around, they got to hide from like a band of raving cannibals, So they'd have to get up and just hide on the cliffs of woods and just trying to make sure they don't get killed. And then what happens is like, one guy walks up and he's just like, they're not sure whether to trust him or anything. And eventually, they end up having to shoot that guy, and then, and then they run for their lives. And then after that, they come back to check where their stuff is because they left their stuff by the car. And they took the stuff and the cannibals ate the guy who got shot. So it's like he left his head and his stomach and all that stuff there on the ground. They took all his meat, bones, and I was like, this is disgusting, And then it was like another part too. It's like you keep going and they try and find food in the bunker. You go inside of a mansion and they go to the basement, and there's like a whole bunch of people that these cannibals, have taken hostage to eat them. And it's just like, you're like, oh no, this is so bad. And then after that, it's like, they escape out of there, and just in time for when the people come back to get their things, get their people who are trapped in the basement. And it's like, these are people eating people, it's horrible. And then you have the next thing to it, they find like some safety, and they actually find like, a little bunker with food, and they eat, and they're able to eat, but then they get scared because they're not sure. It's kind of a thing of hope and fear, Mm-hmm. It's kind of a hope and fear thing. You have hope one moment, and you got fear the next. Because as you're having hope, you go into fear. And it's like, some people just abandon hope. Some people just, keep on hoping. And then the father's kind of in between. He said, I'm scared. I'm just scared. I don't know what to do. But they want to keep the son alive as much as possible because, like, they're not sure what to do. And it's, father and son. And then eventually, the son keeps asking the dad, are we the good guys? Are we the good guys? And they say, yes, we are the good guys. And they're good because they haven't eaten, just began choosing to eat other people. They made a decision not to do that. Trying to find food and struggle however long it takes just to make sure.
And they keep going on a path to go towards
the ocean.
Yeah.
But they never tell who the name of the people are. You never know who the son's name is. You never know the name of the father. They kind of like don't emphasize it. They emphasize the fact that this is a human struggle that anybody would face. That if you're going through a situation, a post-apocalyptic thing where the world, you lose control of I always say that here in the city, if we were to run out of food or the shipment wants to stop, how long would it last before, people would turn on each other or, things like that. We'd always say, here you have our water, and we have our food, and we have our shelter, but you only got a matter of time. You have to keep moving,
Well, it had this part, like Greg had alluded to. Basically, they had gone to explore a mansion to see if there's food in there, and then they found like a locked basement. So they decided, let me look in there, see if there's any food or anything like that. And there was all these people, just in a sense, like people just waiting to be eaten. And so they started to kind of like try to capture them as they're going back up the stairs and everything. And so they left it unlocked. The guy and the son left it unlocked, but they put the table over it. So eventually, the guy and his son had to escape.
Yeah.
They had to escape away from these people that were locked in the basement, and had to escape from the people that had come in the house. It was just a very, very scary point. And then they met this, what's it called? A near blind old man, and they met him, and they never know who's a friend or a foe,
right,
who wants to eat them or not, or wants to steal their clothes or shoes or their food or anything that they have or anything. They basically they during their thing, they go down the road a little more, and they actually found an underground shelter full of canned food and supplies.
Yeah.
And the house, they were able to bathe and feast. So they went down. They went down into the bunker, and they found that there was so much food there that nobody had discovered, and they were just eating. They were having their fill. They were resting and eating and resting, but basically, they felt that they heard a dog up above there. And they thought, you know what, it's too dangerous to stay here any longer.
Right, because if a dog is with them, then people are going to be behind those dogs. So
yeah, and so they eventually make their way down to a beach area where they make it to the coast. And the dad says, okay, let me go see this boat or this ship kind of like abandoned. So he wants to like swim out there, and he tells us, oh, I forgot. When they went to this shelter, the bunker thing, they got a cart, and they were basically carrying a whole bunch of food with them everywhere they went, which is kind of making them a big target.
Yeah.
When they're like going somewhere else. So they brought the cart with them to the beach, and they were there, and the boy was not feeling well, and so he was sick. But the dad said, "Okay, I'm going to go to the boat. I'm going to swim to the boat. I'm going to come back." So when he came back, all their stuff had been stolen. Their blankets, their tent thing that they had. Well, actually, it was just a tarp over a string or something. And their cart full of food was all taken. And, but the son was still there safely, which, thank God. I mean, the person that came to steal it had a knife. He could have killed the boy or taken the boy, but he just, basically take all the supplies. So this is the one part that I felt like, the son really had he had a compassionate part to him, where the dad had to be like, okay, well, I can't help that person, I can't help that person, I can't help everybody, I can't help everybody. The son had seen a boy his age running away and wanted to help him. The dad said, don't help him. And the boy wanted to help this older man who was almost blind or whatever. And the dad said, don't help him. But he's like, I really want to help him. So the dad said, okay, fine, let's help him. And they fed him, but then they went their separate ways. And, there's an aspect where the son really wanted to help people. We have all this food, we should help them. The dad's like, well, if I help them, then we're not gonna survive longer. We're not gonna be able to have food to eat longer. And they're gonna basically want to take advantage of us and maybe eat us or eat all our food or find out where we found the food so they can go back and get it all. So it was like a balance. So there's a situation where this guy had stolen all their stuff at the beach. And so they realized, you know what? And the dad's starting to get really sick.
Yeah.
They realized, they have to chase down the guy with the cart. They're going to have to get their food back. They're going to have to get their supplies back. They're going to have to get everything back that guy took.
Yeah.
And this was a very, very, very powerful image of, I told Greg, very powerful image of how things can just, a person that's rich can be poor in 1 second. A person that's poor can be rich in 1 second. And the tables turn in 1 second. You don't know when it will turn. That's why you always have to be humble.
Yeah.
You have to be humble. Knowing that you could go down or you could go up. You could go down like a roller coaster. You don't you don't know when God will exalt you or maybe make you low. So it's better to, in your mind, to always have a low setting in your mind. Say, you know what, by the grace of God I am. So this situation where this man had stolen all their stuff from the beach, all their food that they had gotten from the place, the bunker place. So the main actor, the dad, they caught up to him. They were running, and they caught up to the guy with the thing. You want to tell?
No, you say it. I was just thinking, that was
and
scary.
Basically, the guy had a knife. Well, the dad had a gun with one bullet only. And the son was pleading, "Dad, don't kill him. Don't kill him, Dad." And basically, the guy stole all their stuff. Didn't even care if they had food to survive the next day. Didn't care anything. Just took everything. Took everything. Took shoes, took this, jackets, everything. So, basically, the dad, he basically told the guy, "Get naked, give me all your stuff," and basically made it where the guy would not survive on his own. Yeah. They didn't want to share any food with him. The guy stole everything. They didn't want to share any food. They took all the clothes from him, and this is cold. It's cold weather. They took his shoes. How can you survive with no shoes, no clothes, no food? But the dad said, you didn't care about us. You didn't care about us at all. So the son pleaded. "Please, Dad, let's give him back his clothes." And the dad didn't want to hear anything. So they go back to the beach with all their stuff. And the son persuaded him to come back with all his clothes and lay it on the street, or the thing with the shoes and his clothes and some food. The son tried to have a compassion and empathy towards this man who stole everything from them. And I just felt like that was a very sad perspective, that here it is, the dad didn't realize, he didn't have anything just a couple days ago. Just like this man. And now he's being a big jerk to him already, doing overcompensation of meanness.
Yeah.
Taking everything from the guy.
And that really overwhelmingly traumatized the boy. The boy couldn't stand that so much. He said he was so...
are we good guys anymore?
Are we still good guys because we did something really, really bad? He said he really knew that was a bad thing to have done. So he tormented his dad so much. He's like, "Dad, we got to go back. And he's not willing. We have to go back. I have to care about this guy, regardless." And so when he went back, he realized that, I have to give this guy.
But they couldn't find him. So he went and hid somewhere, or he's naked. Yeah. He ended up having to hide somewhere or go find some other clothes or shoes or whatever. He didn't know what to do with himself, so he ran away. And the boy was calling to him, "Hey, out there! Hey! Hey!" Trying to get his attention. If he hadn't gone that far, then maybe he would be able to get his clothes and shoes back on the road. So that was, the dad was struggling to keep them alive, keep encouraging the son to be able to keep alive, be wise about the world and who good guys or bad guys are. And I was going to say...
one thing. So they eventually left clothes for him. They left the clothes for him and some food for him. So he can actually, if he came back, he would find that, But then they got, it's just there's more things to it. There's a darkness to this movie that it's in every human soul, that everybody has this, that you could potentially become good or bad. It has an aspect of, you're not sure where these people are trying to get to. You're just trying to head south. Maybe south is better, You're not sure where they are. You're not sure what town or what village or what place they are. You're just heading away, And then you're not sure, someplace in the middle of the country somewhere, or near the coast somewhere. Not sure which coast, east coast, west coast. But they're trying their best to get down south. And, no, wait, it said Los Angeles in the beginning. Okay, so I guess they're on the west coast. And they're heading south, heading probably to try and head to Mexico or something like that, or somewhere. But they're just walking and traveling and trying to survive. And it is a painful movie. One thing I learned about it, the positive aspect was that the dad was not willing to let his son just wither, and he was willing to stand on certain convictions. And even when he started to waver, the son reminded him to keep going. The people they came across, they had the same risks. Every person you met was either a friend or foe, you're not sure which. So you had to kind of maintain who you are. You had to defend your family when you need to and help the people if you can without them trying to hurt you. many people in there. There's many like people who seemed innocent but they were dangerous. People who were dangerous, who seemed dangerous but they were innocent. And when they took that man's clothes and they left him there with no clothes, that was so harsh because like there's guaranteed he's gonna die. And a little bit later, there was a part where he got shot. They were walking, looking for something, and they got shot.
No.
Arrow. And an arrow.
Yeah.
The Viggo Mortensen character got shot by an arrow in the foot, and he shot it back, and he hit the guy in the chest with a flare gun bullet, and the guy died. And he ran up the stairs to go find out who it was, and and he saw that the girl's next to this guy, and that the guy was dead with the arrow in his hand, and then what he called the flare in his chest. And Viggo Mortensen went up there like all mad and said, "Why'd you guys follow me?" And they're like, "No, you've been following us." And so everybody's all paranoid,
Yes.
It's kind of like what the society's been trying to make us become, afraid of each other, and very much afraid of each other, so we can't trust, or we're scared that the person's going to turn on us, or they're trying to advance at our own expense. And they've been teaching us this for so long that it's kind of like the lie of of anything, being persuaded that being persuaded by media and being persuaded by society. It's like, this is kind of the real brass tacks,
Well, another thing throughout the whole movie too is the aspect of trying to teach that suicide is an answer that people can get out of their, that's an option for them. And the mom apparently took that option. She left, and she left the family to go out in the woods, and that was very, very sad. And throughout the whole movie, they have 2 bullets, one for the dad and one for the son. And when it came to a situation where some really dangerous situations, the dad taught the kid how to, commit suicide if that was needed.
The cannibals are upon you or something.
Yeah. So this had a lot of reminders. This movie had a thing, the Book of Eli had a lot of reminders of like end time kind of things. Also, Firefly and the Reavers.
Yeah.
And also The Quiet Place, a little bit similar to that.
The Terminator Salvation,
yeah.
Right? Where it's like Judgment Day kind of thing, where the world is like after post-apocalypse. You have a lot of things.
But God was not. They had some religious context about God, but it was all mixed up.
Yeah,
and so
they very much didn't emphasize the glory of God, nor the hope in God, that God was going to provide your next meal for you.
And also, when they found all the food in the bunker, they're basically like they're praying to the dead people of the house who owned that, and they're saying thank you for the food, people, and not any glory to God or glory to God about God's provision or anything like that.
Right. And so pretty much one of the things I thought was really good about the movie, in terms of like, just some of the conclusion aspects was, there came a point where the father died, and when he died, the son was left to have to make a decision to know what he's going to do. The son's maybe about 10 years old or something, 10, 11 years old. And he has to figure out, maybe he's a little older than 10 or 11, but he seemed like very wise in his eyes, wise in his ears, haven't seen this world, haven't seen such the horrors, of this world. He's seen so many bad things at this age. And one of the things is that, you have a scenario where when they came to the end, there's another family that was waiting for him, and he wasn't sure whether to trust him. But one of the things that I thought was really cool is like when you're talking to a kid, he got down on the kid's level, and made himself humble before the kid, the new guy, who was in charge, who was a dad and a parent of all the kids. The kid, there was 2 other kids there, a boy and a girl, and then there was a mom, and then they had a dog, and that was the dog they heard at the bunker. And what happened was, like, when they met him, the guy got down on his knee and he started talking to the son. The veteran guy talking to the son. He said to him, if you come with me, we can help you. if you stay by yourself, you have to just keep off the roads because it's not safe on the roads. The raiding parties, they hunt the people. They hunt people like they hunt deer, like they hunt animals, and they take them for food. But if you're going to come with me, there's a better chance of us surviving together. You come with us. And the son had to make a decision. And the son,
are you the good people?
Are you good people? He had to ask him a question. Do you carry the fire in your heart? He's like, do you believe in in conviction? You have conviction that you shouldn't do the wrong things.
Do you eat people?
Do you eat people? And it's like,
no,
he said, no, we don't
not.
eat people. And everything like that. And it came back to who do you trust kind of thing. But overall, the whole movie was really dark. And coming from the movie, I thought about this movie the whole day. Amy and I thought about the movie the whole day today. Just thinking about how things work and how people, try to make sense of life without God and with God. We watched the movie from a Christian point of view, and as a Christian point of view, we thought, what, we hope this situation never happens in our lifetime. Many people in history have gone through things like this in their lifetime, and they had to find out where food is, and never did they have to eat their own children, or never had to eat other people in order to survive. God always provided a way and a means. But there's also, there's always been, situations in life, too, where, we hope this never happens in our lifetime, but, if it happened where you have to be wise and survive, because, in this, there was no government. There was no anyone there to control the quality of this or that or the water. There was no one there to help and do that. It was all the luxuries. Like I said, green grass is a luxury. Fresh water is a luxury. Air is a luxury. Shelter is a luxury in terms of the fact that your life is survival. And it's the most important thing, in terms of everything. What is it? Your life, your family, those you love, those you care about. But then you have to extend out to